Sydney and Darwin are locked down. Restrictions are being ramped up in Queensland, South Australia, the ACT and Perth, as Victoria and Tasmania desperately try to keep COVID out. All this is happening months after we started our vaccine rollout. Why did it go so wrong?
Almost a year ago to the day.
The only hope I have is just prayer.
When these heartbreaking pictures made us more desperate than ever for a vaccine.
It's our only ticket back to normality.
Health bosses promised it.
It appears as if all of our contracted vaccines are on the pathway to being successful, safe and effective, which is beyond our wildest dreams.
Our Prime Minister encouraged it.
We're ready to go. These are all great vaccines. They're not better than each other.
But as the world starts opening back up, crowds flocking to stadiums in Europe, where they even have their own COVID passports. On the global vaccination ladder, Australia is lagging at position 94, just ahead of India. Here in Australia today, millions of us are back in hard lockdown.
We are now, this day, exactly where we were last year in Melbourne.
Business devastated again.
Last year was a disastrous. It was really disastrous and chaos. And at one stage, really, I think we were about to really put our houses for sale.
Not even those turning out today to get their jab feel confident.
I think everybody should be vaccinated.
Do you think it should have been done by now?
Yep. I just think it's not been very good over here, to be honest with you.
How does this lockdown feel for you, sir?
That's okay. We have to accept it.
The government has secured 53.8 million AstraZeneca vaccines, but as it currently stands, they're not recommended for the vast majority of Australians. But as their expiry date creeps closer, there are now calls for the government to release them to anyone of any age who is willing to take it.
We are on the precipice of a major national disaster, the way things are running at the moment.
Dr Mukesh Haikerwal owns and runs a GP clinic in Melbourne's West. Many of his patients under 60 want AstraZeneca, but he's too scared to give them the jab, in fear of being sued if something goes wrong.
It means we're in a terrible situation where people can get vaccinated, want to get vaccinated, but we can't get hold of the right dose for them. They should put their money where their mouth is and say, we will cover anybody in the system who has a medical misadventure because of the vaccine.
Then there are people like Jill Manley. She's at risk of blood clots, so spent weeks getting approval for the Pfizer vaccine, only to be told it will be mid-July before she can be jabbed.
How frustrating is it for you, Jill?
It's annoying. It's very, very annoying and frustrating because, you know, they keep pumping it on the TV to get vaccinated, but what about the people that are trying so hard and can't get done? It's like we're living in a third world country.
As you can see,
Wissam El Samad opened his Asian eatery in Western Sydney last Friday, only to have to shut it down 24 hours later.
very, very upset.
How much is this going to hurt you, Wissam?
Big time. As you can see, the place is huge, big time. In terms of really brand stock what you have is going to go out of date. There's a lot of stock is going to go out of date, unused.
For Baba Salim Mawad, a sluggish vaccine rollout has cost him dearly.
It's cost me the rent and to live, to pay the mortgage, and we've got family and we have to pay for this.
And while they wait for the country to catch up,
How are we helping the small businesses that are affected so drastically by this? How much money is it going to be that we've got coming to help us out in this situation?
The vaccination process must be ramped up at a high level.
tourism boss Margie Osmond.
There is always the danger we could end up being the lost kingdom of the South Pacific the way this is going. We'd certainly hope that's not the case.
Already struggling tourism operators should be making $10 billion over the next 2 weeks. But with school holidays cancelled,
we're expecting to lose about $6 billion of that over the next 2 weeks, and in states like New South Wales, they'll be bleeding $150 million a day.
Those figures could tip many traders over the edge. And for those who survive, it's set to be a long journey back.
The problem we've got is the long-term damage. This is about ruining, destroying traveller confidence, whether that's leisure or business travel, and it's going to take a very long time to bring that back.